Hello and welcome to my kitchen. I'm Judith. Today I want to do some barbecued chicken. And to do that, I want to make this absolutely beautiful barbecue sauce. It's fruity, a little spicy, and just absolutely yummy. Got a little bit of sweetness in there. So I know it looks like a lot of ingredients, but it's not that hard. So let's get rid of the chicken here. We're going to put the chicken in a bowl. And I have some wings, a couple of thighs, and a couple of drumsticks. So we are going to marinate that in the sauce before we put it in the oven. And for our sauce, we're going to start with root beer. I know it's a twist off cap. Let's see if I can get it twisted off. Okay, there we go. So we want a cup of root beer, but since my measuring cup has orange juice in it, we'll just pour the orange juice in. So 1 cup of orange juice, 1 cup of root beer. Oops, it's gonna foam. That's okay. There we go. 1 cup of ketchup. Actually, half a cup of ketchup. Just a little bit more. Grab a spatula. And I love the invention of the squeeze bottles for ketchup. No more banging the bottom of the bottle and driving yourself crazy to get it to come out and then having it glurp everywhere. Such a great idea. Okay. Then, I'm just going to stir that a bit. We're going to add now I have a heaped 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar. We're not going to add it all right away because we may not need it all. So tablespoon at a time. And right now I'm just going to put 2 tablespoons in. Or thereabouts. That wasn't really a good clean measure. And I want a teaspoon of liquid smoke. I'm using mesquite flavor. Use whichever flavor you prefer. And I want a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. And yeah, there's still controversy about how to pronounce it even here. My favorite pronunciation that I've ever heard was Worcestershire sauce. I know it sounds weird, but that's actually what somebody called it. Okay, then we have here a half a teaspoon of ground black pepper. I'm just going to put in about half of that for now. And a teaspoon of salt, so about half of that for now. You know, maybe a little less than half. And a teaspoon of garlic powder. So put that in. Now we're going to bring this up to a simmer and let it cook for a while at a very strong simmer because we do want it to cook down. So I'll be back once we get it cooking. Oh, almost forgot. We need our molasses. And for this you want unsulfured molasses. We're going to go with can't remember how much molasses I put in it. Half a tablespoon. Oh, that looks like a whole tablespoon. So I'm not going to pour it all in. Pour the rest back in. Okay. molasses will provide a lovely sweetness and depth of flavor. Now, do make sure you stir this every once in a while. You don't have to stand over it and stir it continuously, but if you don't stir because of all the sugars in it, it is going to stick to the bottom of the pot and burn. You don't want that. So just with your spatula, every now and then run it across the bottom of the pot. But we do want this to reduce actually quite a bit. It is going to be a thin barbecue sauce, but I like to put lots of coats on my ribs when I'm making them. Since it's going to be chicken today, we're going to marinate it in some first, and then several coats on the chicken as it cooks. This has been simmering for about half an hour, and it's looking very good. The color's changed to a lovely dark red. I want to taste. It's nice, but it's very sharp. So we're going to add in about another tablespoon of brown sugar. And a tiny bit more salt. Oops. I think we might end up using the whole 1/3 cup of brown sugar. But I want to do it slowly. We don't want it too sweet. We want to be very careful. The spice is there, not really prominent, so we're going to add a little more of the black pepper. If you want, you could add some hot sauce, chili oil, whatever's your preference for spicing things up. But I prefer mine fairly mild. So let's give it another 15 minutes and see. Okay, this has been simmering another 15 minutes. And as you can see, it's getting a lot darker red. It's starting to thicken. I'm trying to decide if I want to put more brown sugar in it or not. Depends on how sweet you want it. At this point, it's not sweet, but there's a little hum in the background of sweetness. And I don't really think I want it any sweeter. And it's got enough of a spice in it. I can taste that on my lips and my tongue. Doesn't need any more salt, so I think it's done. And just remember, always taste, and if you want it sweeter, add more sugar. If you want it spicier, add more pepper or Worcestershire sauce or hot sauce or whatever you're using. And just be careful with the salt. We honestly don't need to eat as much salt as we do. So we're going to turn this off now. Let it cool, and then we will marinate our chicken. Now that our barbecue sauce is cooled, we are going to marinate our chicken. I'm going to just pour some over. And as you can see, it is a very thin sauce, but that's okay. Just scoosh it around. And we're going to cover it and put it in the fridge and let it sit for at least half an hour. And then I haven't cleaned the barbecue up yet for this year, so it's going to be in the oven. But if your barbecue is ready to go, make sure your grill's well greased and it will be lovely. But in the oven on a baking sheet with some parchment or tin foil on it, and easy dinner. Now that our chicken is marinated, we are going to put it on a parchment lined baking sheet. And I do recommend, with any meat, do not put it in the oven straight out of the fridge. Let it warm up as close to room temperature as you can. Let's give it about an hour, or at least a half an hour, just to get its temperature a little closer to room temperature. You don't want to put something in the oven when it's ice cold. It just makes it tough. So let's get our... The chicken wings may have to come out a little bit sooner than the rest, just because they are so much smaller. I'm just going to pour the rest of the marinade over our chicken. And remember, we still have a pot full of wonderful barbecue sauce. So we will be basting these with barbecue sauce while they're cooking. And we'll check them every 15 minutes and baste them and make them lovely. Okay, about every 15 minutes you want to bring your chicken out, or preferably just open the oven door and pour some more barbecue sauce on. If you have a ladle, or a small ladle, or a little spoon of some sort that you could use to do that, that would be great. You don't need a brush, because this is honestly too thin for a brush. But just... And then we're going to put it back in. And we're going to keep doing this until it's... Ooh, look at that. That needs some more over there. That side of that leg. Yeah. Okay. Back in. And we'll check it again in 15 minutes. I know it doesn't look that much different, but it's 15 minutes later, and the barbecue sauce is adhering. Starting to give it a nice glaze. We're going to do another generous scooping of barbecue sauce on the top. And put it back in the oven. The oven's only at 350 degrees because we don't want this to burn. We'll turn it up later if needed, but at the moment, long, slow, gives tender and juicy. Okay, about halfway through, sorry, I should have turned the video on sooner. Turn your chicken pieces over, and with a lot of the sauce, the barbecue sauce in the bottom of the pan, scooch it onto your chicken bits. And maybe add a little from the pan, or from your pot, and then put it back in. It's dinner time. So now I have some absolutely beautiful barbecue chicken. I'm going to do a thigh and a wing for me. And I have some wonderful braised butter beans to go with. So those over there. Okay, it's dinner time. So the star of this dish is the barbecue sauce. It is a thin sauce, but marinate your chicken in it, baste it regularly. It's wonderful, and it does stick, and it becomes absolutely glorious. So let's have a little taste here. The chicken is tender and fully cooked. Let's give me a little nibble. Absolutely wonderful. Fruity, smooth, a little hint of spice. You can add more. You can add some chilies to it, or hot sauce, or whatever you like to the base barbecue sauce. It's so good. So, I hope you enjoy the recipe. Please try. I will be making huge batches of my barbecue sauce and canning it so that I don't have to make small batches every week. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the video. I hope you love the recipe. Please give it a thumbs up. Every like, watch, view that you give me helps my channel. And I totally appreciate all of them. And I appreciate all of you that have been with me from the beginning. Thank you so much. And I'll see you again soon.